how's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel with some more Arsenal transfer news, transfer updates, discussions, opinions, all that good stuff. And today we have proper transfers. We have finally being linked with players. We have been linked with in some action actually properly. There are rumors floating around that Arsenal have been given a war chest of money to spend this summer. So definitely things hopefully are looking up. So for about a week, I would say no more rant videos. Genuinely, for the last few days I released a few rant videos. I'll talk about Edu, Mikel Arteta, about the, in a way, the silence, the fact they're doing nothing at the moment since the window has been open for 3 weeks now and everything. No players are going out, no players are coming in. Basically, absolute dead silence. But it's July 2nd and hopefully things are looking up. I genuinely hope so, because I want to see some players coming in and I want to see some players getting sold and loaned out. So, today we are talking about, as I mentioned before, the war chest that Arsenal have been given. Some links again with center backs, defenders, not so much attackers, which is very, very interesting. Some players potentially going out, so that will be very interesting to talk about. So without further ado, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and let's get into transfers. And we're kicking things off with Mika Biereth. Sturm Graz sporting director Andrea Schicke on Mika Biereth. Mika is in the last year of his contract and the club wants to sell him. Now we have to find a solution with Arsenal, he told an Austrian site. Basically, Mika Biereth was on loan last season in Scotland to Motherwell. Was injured for some time, but then he came back, had a very decent run as spell. During January he got recalled. Motherwell got very pissed about it, I'm not gonna lie. But he got loaned out to Sturm Graz. He won a cup and everything. And he had amazing run, to be honest. He played as well in Europe, so that was very good experience from him that wise. And now in summer, since his return from loan, it looks like Sturm Graz want him back. The big thing is, he has 1 year left of his contract, and at the moment we haven't had a peep about from Arsenal about the fact that it could be renewed, extended, or anything. And now Sturm Graz are obviously well aware of that, and they really like what they saw from Mika Biereth, how he performed, his scoring record and everything, and they are potentially exploring an option to buy. Now, it was first of all talked about that he might go there to loan, and it's still a rumor that it could be a loan. Still, to this day, it's still more a possibility of a loan than actually purchase, from what I have seen at least. But if push comes to shove, there might be an option that Arsenal actually sell him. So it will be very interesting to see how this develops, but by the looks of things, obviously Mika Biereth is not in Arteta's plans, and it looks like he might be going back to Sturm Graz, whether it will be loan or for some hopefully decent amount of money remains to be seen, so we'll have to follow this still, because it's ongoing. Moving on to David Raya. Fabrizio Romano last night dropped a bomb. In a way, a news bomb. Basically, understand Arsenal have now formally activated the buy option for David Raya from Brentford. He's an Arsenal player on permanent deal for 27 million as planned, as it was last year. In summer, we took him for a 3 million loan with 27 million option to buy next summer. And it was already decided, and now it is completed. Formal statement to follow, but all done for Raya as key part of Arsenal project. So basically, this deal was more or less 4 years in the making. Because if you recall, there was a time, the summer when we signed Aaron Ramsdale actually, we wanted to sign David Raya first. But at the time, I think it was Sheffield. Sheffield didn't want to let him go. They slapped a massive amount of money on him. And, well, yeah, and Arsenal were willing to pay that, but they said, no, we don't want to let him go. So Arsenal turned their attention to Ramsdale. Well, obviously, fast forward a few years, Arsenal get a chance to sign David Raya. Arteta can get his player he desired before Ramsdale, and bang, he's in the club. It took, to be honest, for me, shorter than I expected, because I thought Raya would be our number one by December, end of December. He became our number one pretty much instantly. I'm not gonna lie, pretty much instantly, and it was pretty much evident that Ramsdale will be sold. And let's be real, Ramsdale put a nail in his coffin by calling out an interview and saying that he can't focus for the full 90. That definitely didn't help his case. But now, yeah, Raya looks like he is an Arsenal player for now, full on. It's fully confirmed pretty much. Now, the backup goalkeeper is still up in the air. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. Will Karl Hein be the backup or what? Will we sign a backup goalkeeper? The thing about Ramsdale is, though, what's gonna happen with him? Because will we loan him out? Will we sell him? Because in my opinion, we should sell him. He's a starting caliber goalkeeper for more or less, I would say 95% of Premier League. if not even less. No, okay, 90 to 95% of Premier League teams. So that is very, very interesting how this is gonna develop. Or maybe he's open to move abroad, but I highly doubt that though. English players don't that often move abroad, if you get what I mean. Just like Italian players don't that often move to outside of Italy. But remains to be seen what's gonna happen with Ramsdale. I generally believe that we will sign our players, and then we're gonna focus on sales. And the thing is, I think definitely we might see Reece Nelson leave in January, definitely Lokonga definitely leaving in July. Ramsdale might be the tough one, which we will have to wait till August or even later, mid-August, maybe even late August, to see what's gonna happen with him. But all in all, David Raya is an Arsenal player fully. And here it is, talks underway between Sevilla and Arsenal over deal for a 24-year-old midfielder. Basically, it's been rumored for a week or so that Sevilla are very interested on getting Sambi Lokonga. Now, it was on loan, it all was up in the air. Apparently, the personal terms between Sevilla and Sambi Lokonga have already been agreed upon, and definitely Sevilla need a midfielder, because they have, you could argue, only two midfielders. They have Sau, that Swiss guy, and Juan Jordan, if I'm not mistaken. They used to have Gudel, but now he plays center back, so it's a bit different now. And Lokonga, it looks like Sevilla definitely looking, according to reports from Spain, a similar profile that basically Sambi Lokonga more or less fits perfectly. So that taking him on loan is pretty much a deal. The thing is, Arsenal now are sitting down with Sevilla and discussing the terms, because Sevilla want to take him on loan, and Arsenal are happy with that, to be honest, for him to go on loan. However, there's one thing Arsenal are not happy with. Sevilla want, at the moment, from what we can understand, at least from numerous reports, a plain loan. Arsenal want to chuck in a buy clause, a mandatory buy clause, and that is the biggest, I think, talking point at the moment. How much and whether Sevilla will agree upon that, because the personal terms, I said, have been agreed upon between Sevilla and Lokonga, and now remains to be seen, can Arsenal actually maneuver and figure out a deal together with Sevilla, how Lokonga becomes a Sevilla player, and after this season he becomes a full-time Sevilla player with a mandatory buy option. And here it is. It was reported in numerous articles, and I just picked out a tweet because there's nothing much to talk about. According to reports and rumors, Arsenal finally have been given some money to spend. Arsenal finally received green light to complete 175 million transfers, as Mikel Arteta is eyeing 4 signings. Basically, we all know Arteta wants to sign at least 4 players, 3 or 4, and Arsenal finally have been given the money of 175 million. Now, if you basically play laws of averages, if you eat similar in that type of deal, that comes out to nothing much, to be honest, in about, what, 49? I think? No, not 49, 47? Yeah, 47. 47 would be 148. 49 would be 156. What am I talking about? It's 4 signings. Why am I struggling with this? I used to be so good at math. Man, my brain is gone after a long day of work. That's what happens when you are an Arsenal fan and you are doing work. But it's about 50, it's 40, yeah, 43 million. What am I, 43, 44 million. 44 million on average. That is not much. However, for 44 million, you can sign technically Nico Williams on the release clauses, you can sign Calafiori, you can sign Fofana, and you can sign another midfielder. And that actually works perfectly. Mad, if you think about it, genuinely. But overall, at the end of the day, Arsenal have finally gotten some money. The big part in this is we have 175 million. If you exclude that we have about 4 or 5 players to sell, let's say we get 30 million for Ramsdale, 20 million for Nelson, that's extra 50 million in the bank. You sell, for example, Emil Smith-Rowe, if we decide to sell him, obviously, that's extra another 30 million, more or less. You cited in Ketia, 35, something like that. I don't think we're getting 50 like ever. So that's, generally we can generate about 100 plus million extra from those 4 players alone. So he sells Zinchenko about 30 million, that's again an extra 30. We definitely could have over nearly 300 million if we sell our players properly. So that is actually a big thing now. Arsenal actually have some money. The thing is, with these 175 million, Arteta will have spent nearly 800 million. Nearly 800 million gross without calling into the account sellings and everything. 800 million nearly. Mad. Mad. So because that's the biggest reason why I did the trend videos during the last few days. I said that it most likely will be around 800 million we spend. If we actually sell that, that comes to that, but I'm not counting in the sales, but I should probably, then it comes to around 700, 650 to 700. And that's why I said this is the window where Arteta and Edo needs to sign properly. This is the window, and this is the season when Arteta needs to win major honors. Nothing more, nothing less. But positive news, Arsenal finally have some money. Now go and sign someone, for Peep's sake. And now we're talking about players being signed. According to reports from Sport, Barcelona have asked for some time to give answers to Arsenal. Basically, regarding the inquiry on Jules Koundé, the biggest thing is, if Ronaldo Araujo stays at Barcelona, the club would be open to selling him. The thing is, he would be around 50 to 55 million pounds. That is the big part. And if you ask me, it's not a signing we need at the moment, because he is right-hand center-back, right-back. He hasn't done the greatest for Barcelona during the season, let's be real. Yes, he has scored goals, he has had assists and blah blah blah, but he hasn't done the best of jobs. At the same time, that right side from Arsenal is actually rock solid if you ask me. We have Saliba, we have Timber, we have Ben White, technically we have Tomiyasu there, so we already have 4 players there that can play on that side. So why would we sign another right-sided center-back / right-back? Why? It makes no sense to me. I'd rather sign a proper left-back. Genuinely. Go get Kadioglu. Why not? The thing about getting Kadioglu is that we need to sell a left-back, because we have 2. We have Kivior and we have Zinchenko. Bart Simpson we have, so we need to sell Bart Simpson as well, so it will be very interesting to see how that develops. But yeah, at the moment, for me personally, I wouldn't be excited about this signing, and I don't think Arsenal Arsenal don't need him at the moment. Let me know what you think about this down in comments below. Here we go. Ricardo Calafiori would be open to move to Premier League if Juventus can't agree on a deal with Bologna. Obviously, however, his preference is still follow Thiago Motta, who has become Juventus manager, so he would be pretty much open moving to to Juventus to be partnered up with Bologna, with Thiago Motta. Mad, I'm getting all over the place once again. Basically, Calafiori, one of the shining bright spots for Italy this Euros, had amazing season for Bologna, helped them get into Champions League and everything. But now Bologna have made amends with the fact that it will be hella hard to keep him at Bologna. By the way, if I call Calafiori Bologna, I'm very sorry about that. And here it is, what Bologna director has said. I can confirm that they will consider proposal for Calafiori. Makes sense, let's be real. It'd be fantastic to keep him, but we have to be realistic. Yes, he has captured eyes of multiple Serie A teams, and obviously outside of Italy, it's Chelsea, Arsenal. And in case of good proposal, we'll discuss about that, and we anticipate clubs from abroad to move in as well. Basically, from what I have seen, there are 3 teams that want him quite a bit, have been linked with the heaviest, if that makes sense. It's Juventus, obviously, for Thiago Motta, and then there is obviously as well Chelsea and Arsenal. For Arsenal to sign him would mean, I think, genuinely one big thing. What does happen to Kivior? Because Kivior last season, the second part of the season, stepped up and showed that he can play in that left back position quite nicely. At the same time, yes, he got cooked on many occasions in Champions League and Sané. Against pacier and more technical defenders, he struggles. Let's give him that. Calafiori is also left-sided center-back / left-back. He can try and play there from what I have seen. So that makes sense to be a backup for Gabriel and everything, just like Kivior. Now, you have to keep in mind that Juventus is one of those teams that during this transfer window just have been linked with Kivior. Which also raises the biggest question for me. It could be a domino effect, basically. If Arsenal sign Calafiori, there's a big chance Kivior is going to Juventus. I can see that possibility actually materializing in real life. At the same time, if Calafiori goes to Juventus, Kivior stays, and if Calafiori stays at Bologna, obviously everyone is unhappy. But then if Calafiori stays at Bologna, I can see Juventus coming in for Kivior. So there is a scenario where Arsenal are the losers because they don't get Calafiori and they lose Kivior. Then there's a scenario in 2 scenarios where Juventus are losers, and then there's a scenario where only Bologna are the losers in a way, because they get money so they can sign. He's rumored to be around 40 million if I'm not mistaken. That Juventus get Kivior, Arsenal get Calafiori, or Juventus get Calafiori, Arsenal remain with Kimmich, and the only team that gets no player is Bologna in a way. So that will be very interesting. I must say, I think Calafiori is better than Kimmich at the moment already. It would be very interesting to see how this happens, because Italian players are not notoriously well known for leaving Italy and coming to Premier League. There are exceptions, obviously, but mostly Italian players tend to stay in Italy. We all know that. But it will be very interesting to see how this develops, because if Arsenal sign Calafiori, I would be very interested how this works, especially with Kimmich. And if Calafiori can play that left back position, I definitely believe that Zinchenko will be on the move. And that will be very interesting, because we haven't heard also a peep about Zinchenko leaving since Bayern interest in early June before the transfer window opened. So that also we'll have to keep an eye on, because Arsenal will need to sell, and they have to sell about 4 or 5 players as well, genuinely. And that will be the big question: who they gonna sell, to whom they gonna sell, and for how much? All remains to be seen. And the last one for today, Joshua Kimmich. There's a small chance that Joshua Kimmich extends his contract at Bayern Munich. The club want him to cut his salary by 20%, but a deal is unlikely at this stage. Basically, 20% is quite a bit of a decrease in salary. Let's be real. And to be honest, let's be real. Anyone who club says you're gonna get 20% decrease in salary would be hella pissed and then wouldn't want to resign, unless you are a very top player who has secured everything you can ever imagine and you are generally ready to die for the club. In a way, like Messi did, I think Xavi did as well, and everything. So that will be very interesting. Cazorla did that. He basically plays for free for Oviedo. So that will be very interesting to see how that develops. However, this comes together with the fact that Arsenal have been linked with Kimmich for quite some time now, and there was a video that was surfacing all over Twitter or X. The fact that there was one of the agents talking, and basically there was which club is one of the German national team players is moving to Premier League. Then there was a club named which nobody knows who was named, but everyone heard that it was bleeped out. But everyone heard that they started with Ars. So take that as you will. Arsenal, of course. And many people are saying that Kimmich drives some cars that are similar to UK standards to the right side of the driving pitch. So it will be very interesting to see how this develops, because then definitely the thing is, Kimmich to Arsenal, I would be ecstatic about that, I'm not gonna lie, because our team is very young. We have some bad boy players, but they are young bad boy players who more or less haven't tasted the victory and the success that you would imagine. Kimmich would come in with everything that experience and bad boy attitude, because he has won everything you can imagine. He is experienced in every single competition you can imagine, and he definitely would elevate our midfield. And how he would play, it's all up to Mikel Arteta. Whether you push Rice to 6 and put him at 8, push Rice to leave Rice at 8 and push him down to 6, all is on Mikel Arteta. But at the end of the day, it would work. I think definitely he's one of those players that fit in perfectly, and he could be available for about 35-40 million according to rumors, since he's the last year of his contract. So that definitely could happen. And I definitely would be very interested to see how Kimmich works at Arsenal. For me, that if Kimmich is available is a no-brainer whatsoever. Genuinely. If there's a chance of Arsenal getting Kimmich, get it done. That's for me personally. And to add to the midfield, go get Fofana as well while he's still available. Generally, signing Kimmich and Fofana, according to rumors that the prices, would be worth 65 to 70 million combined. I think that's a steal and a half. I'm not gonna lie, that's genuinely steal and a half. So definitely, we will have to follow this definitely, because this is one of those players in the midfield, from available midfielders properly, if you don't want to pay gazillion over the top, I would say definitely should be obtainable, and definitely there's a possibility that he's leaving Bayern Munich and he can come to clubs. We should be in for him and be at the top of the list. Not to mention the fact that signing a player like Kimmich of his stature and everything would just show how good negotiating skills Edu has. Because Edu hasn't signed massive players at all. Let's be real, he hasn't signed anyone at all. You could say Rice, but Rice pretty much was guaranteed that he's going to leave West Ham, and 90% that he's going to come to Arsenal during the transfer window. Kimmich has no idea where he's going to go if he doesn't resign. He has no idea what his future holds after the Euros at the moment. So definitely for Edu to show and prove to Arsenal fans that he actually can do some bad boy proper business would not just be good for Arsenal fans seeing that Edu can do the job. That definitely would be a massive confidence boost in my opinion for Edu to go and try to do some more amazing deals in the market. Anyhow, those are the transfer rumors from me for you today. Let me know down in comments below what you think about Calafiori links. Would you take him at Arsenal? Would you take Kimmich at Arsenal? Let me know down in comments below about other players. Who would you think Arsenal are linked with? Would you take? Obviously, there's Gyökeres and everything, but we haven't heard much about them ever since what's his face? Fabrizio Romano came out and shut it all kind of down since the links from Leonino. So that will be very interesting to see. Will Arsenal sign a proper number 9? And who will be the winger Arsenal sign? Because one of those two gonna happen. Just who? Because Arsenal at the moment are up in the air about this. Because Nicola Williams is available. The high wages is a bit of a struggling factor for Arsenal in a sense, because they don't. I'm not sure they want to pay that much. Gyökeres is a massive deal, so that might take some time. So yeah. If Arsenal sign, for example, midfielder and defender at the moment, and then sign, let's just say Gyökeres late July or early August, I'm happy with that. I just want to see that Arsenal are active in the market, because besides Liverpool, who have new manager that need to figure things out, every single club is doing signings, every single club is doing sellings, and Arsenal are generally sitting there and just twiddling their thumbs. So that is the biggest frustration with me. Arsenal are not active, they're just sitting still and doing nothing, because we have no reports of players going out or coming in. And that is what is hella frustrating. But anyways, for you today, that is it. Let me know what you think about the transfer rumors, let me know who you want Arsenal to sign. Take care, stay safe, enjoy Euros at the moment. Netherlands are playing Romania, it's 1-0 Netherlands. Let me know what you think about Euros as well, how you're enjoying it. Take care, like, comment, subscribe, and see you all in tomorrow's video. Peace.